Greetings, fellow conquerors, and welcome back to Byzantium here in EU4, where we are about to attack the Venetians, reclaim Corfu, and get Dalmatia, which should hopefully allow us to, jump over the sea in order to get into the Papal State, whose allies are middling, to say the least. And the French might help us attack them. Though the French might also have claims on some of their land. Doesn't look like it, but, just considering. Alright, we've declared the war. Let us march. See, how's our fleet, by the way, compared? Like, we could build an additional 6 ships, which would be helpful, though we are about to take a lot of Venice's better sea tiles. We're going to move a stack into Dalmatia just to make sure that we start the siege and that Hungary doesn't try anything cheeky. We are leaving an army in Crimea since we do expect a rebellion pretty soon there. In fact, we haven't even finished coring the provinces we just got from them. Oh well. Looks like the Venetian army is on the retreat. Probably here to hum, if I'm not mistaken. They're just going to chill out. I don't think that army poses that much of a threat to us, though they do have 8 artillery, which is pretty nasty. Looks like the Austrians are reinforcing. Looks like, wow, the Venetians are taking a -2, which means the Serbians are actually going to be able to pull through on this battle. With the Venetians losing as many troops as the Serbians did, even though the Venetians outnumber them by quite a significant margin. Alright, we've won the siege of Dalmatia, which means we should be able to take these 2 provinces. We've also won the siege of Corfu. We have all the provinces we want. The real problem is going to be actually getting some of this land, and the problem with them having Great Britain as an ally is that getting enough war score may prove to be difficult. Let's get in and stack wipe potentially this army here, especially with our superior morale and the rest of the Austrian and Hungarian army showing up. We actually have a tactics advantage because of our discipline, which is pretty great. But yeah, like most of these units are depleted out of morale. And we're going to stack wipe them, losing only 1,000 troops. So, pretty big win there. Let's go siege down Treviso. Yeah, the balance of power here is significantly skewed in our favor. Looks like France is at war with Provence, Switzerland, Baden, Nevers, and Great Britain. So, it looks like Great Britain's going to be tied up fighting the French. Poor England. Never does well. Granted, the odds are stacked against him, but all the same. You know, one thing we could do, now that I'm thinking about it, let's grab an army here, and let's go invade the knights and, like, take them over. If we can actually get, like, an army or a navy in there without, like, having everything be sunk. I think this fleet's strong enough. The Venetians do have 2 heavies, unfortunately. Yeah, you know what? I don't feel as comfortable or confident about that as I would want to. So we're going to actually put away the army for that. And the trade fleet might have gotten sunk. Yeah. Actually, no, the trade fleet is a part of our main fleet here, so... Let's go attack the Venetians and see what kind of work our navy can do. Our navy was doing good work before in a previous war, but the Venetians do get improved galley combat ability, so yeah, it's possible our troops just get absolutely wrecked here, which is what's happening. So yeah, we're gonna back out. Wow, we lost 10 galleys out of that. Wow, that was really quick. Jeez. Venetian galley combat, man. Brutal. They don't even have that yet. They just have better force limit. Well, that's scary. It's in part due to those heavies, of course, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna win the land war against Venice. How developed is Venice? Like the province, like Venezia? 34 development. Looks like we've lost a siege somewhere, or won a siege, something. Oh, we've won the siege of Treviso. Okay. See, we could lose 10 patriarch authority for 10 to gain 10 prestige. We don't really need the prestige. So we'll go ahead and get more Patriarch authority now that it's a net gain. We would love to get across the strait, of course, but we can't get past the Venetian navy, so we may look to invest into heavy ships as time passes here. But the Venetians are going down pretty quietly. Alright, let's convert Tematarha. Just because we can. Crimean separatists firing actually rather slowly, amazingly. Brabant has entered a military alliance with Great Britain. Okay. Our royal marriage with the French has ended. Let's go ahead and renew that. Now, somebody mentioned a while ago that we could actually claim the throne of Hungary. I didn't even realize that we could do that. Unfortunately, they have a strong claim heir now, so we're not really going to be able to do that for the time being. Speaking of which, our current heir has a strong claim. However, he also is crap because he has minus 5% morale of armies, and he's a 132. He's just bad. He's bad at everything. Oh, I was hoping to check the French morale there in that battle. Tisk tisk. We could build a building. We're not going to. What's our inflation like anyway? We've got 4.2%. That's okay. It's fairly average. Have the French taken defensive ideas? No, the French have taken offensive ideas this time around. Well, that's somewhat comforting, knowing that their armies aren't going to be completely stupidly overpowered. Venetians getting obliterated by a massively larger stack. Now, Austria is going to be happy if we just take these provinces and don't give them anything. And we could actually, we could actually take Istria, which would be a really interesting play, because then we could get into more of Italy as a result of that. So I think we're going to go for that as well. The Venetians not keen on this peace deal yet. I mean, that's fine. We'll be able to come out on top and, take the majority of their land, as it were. Genoa and Britain are, of course, on medium enthusiasm. Alright, we could get our last diplomatic idea instead of getting better naval morale. And I think we're going to do that just to get the restoration of the Ecumenical Patriarch, as well as +1 yearly prestige. Vassal force limit contribution, it's alright. I mean, by alright, I mean it's awful. And unjustified demands is actually going to be really helpful for us in this peace deal. So, we've gotten all the things. We've finished Byzantine ideas. And we're about to take some land. This is going to be very good. Now, as Venice's war exhaustion goes up, our war score is also going to go up from owning the war goal, so we're going to be able to get quite the peace deal out of this, I think. We do have to worry about the Ramazani separatists firing, as the Venetians continue to blockade our ports. We've trapped a Venetian army in Venezia, which is fine. Yeah, we would prefer them to be there instead of out in the world. Bremen has entered a military alliance with our enemy, Great Britain. Britain's just, like, allying more and more people, isn't he? See, Sugla would get 5 years of monthly autonomy. Let's just spend 25 admin to make that not happen. Alright, our force limit should have gone up by 2. Just from the vassal force limit. It really is a crap idea. Let's see, we could hire a trader, get the trade efficiency guy. I think we go for that. If we had a master of mint, that would be pretty cool. We do, but he's a skill 2, and we can't really... We don't have the income right now to do that necessarily, so... we will convert Adana. Show people our resilience. Gain 1 stability. Thanks, defensive ideas. We are still besieging Genoa. I'm going to wait for them to get siege just so we can get the extra war score, but I mean, pretty easy war, pretty easy life in general. Jandar is 39% annexed. One of our generals has died, so we'll go ahead and use this one. Now, we've been trying to kill our heir by making him a general. This may actually be a terrible idea. Oh my god, the other general died, like, immediately. That's hilarious. Alright, well, let's go ahead and recruit another one. Let's see. We are the third-ranked great power at the moment in the world. I'm pretty happy about that. Now, if we look here at our... I'm looking at the wrong screen. So, military tech's not going to go up for a while, and we have to worry about the spread of institutions. And unfortunately, the printing press has not appeared in Constantinople yet. It's still ticking up every month. And if we look at the actual institution screen, we're getting 0.2 per month. So it's expected to be in the province in 1594. Yeah, so I think a couple episodes ago I said I'm going to try to improve the, the development of Constantinople to make sure that, like, we get this to fire before we have a, billion cost. And I think that's a reasonable thing, considering that, like, we only have... It's an 88% cost to actually, improve the province. I think that's completely reasonable. That being said, I'm going to move this army away. First of all, I'm going to roll another general. And we get a 254. Whew! And, I'll move this army away. Go kill those rebels. I don't really see the Venetian army, like, trying to, like... I can save the day! I don't think he can do anything at this point. He is going to head out... Yeah, he realized the error of his ways almost immediately. Only a 14% to win the Siege of Genoa, and we do win it. So now we can probably broker our peace with the Venetians. We're going to get 22 aggressive expansion. I don't want to get like too overzealous here. Don't really want to go for a humiliate. We'll just take his ducats. I mean, he makes a ton of money, so this seems reasonable to me. I would peace out sooner with Genoa, but those of you who typically oppose that, hear me out. I would typically do that. However, since we can't siege down Britain and get a 100% war score, we're just going to go ahead and go for this peace. Unless Britain would be willing to peace out, which he's not, because we haven't done anything to him. So, one thing we could do, actually, is make him break his alliance with Britain. And I think we're going to do that just so that he doesn't have that annoying ally for when we attack him in the future. So let's go ahead and do this peace deal. Alright, we now own part of the Adriatic coast again. It's very exciting. Now we're going to cool off for a little bit here, but only in so much as we need to in order to fabricate a claim on the Papal State, who is now at war with Austria, interestingly enough. Venice is no longer a valid rival. Interesting. Alright, Byzantium gets exceptional year. So we could get 50% more taxes for, a year. And if our base is something like I wish I could see, like, our actual, like, tax base. Because this 20.91 is, like, excuse me. This is our modified. So, I don't know how you would retroactively take away, like, 40% of this income, but, like... I mean, like, if we're getting, like, a ducat 60 more per month, for example, for an entire year. That's like times 12. I mean, let us divert as much as possible to our central treasury would actually give us more money, I think, as a result. So let's go ahead and do that. I think actually, but it would be more because this would be more than a ducat. It would be like. See, what I don't know is if that's the payment in full, right? Like let's think about this. If our income was, like, 16, for example, 50% of that would be, like, 8. 8 times 12 is 96, so I think we still get more money out of this over time. Let's see if I'm right. Like, we're basically 21, and we're going to go up to how much tax income per month? We're at 27, so, I mean, I was a little... It probably would have been, like, the full... It probably was, like, the payment in full, if I'm... guessing right. Wow, we have 2 forts here in Istria. Let's get rid of those. We'll get rid of the one in Dalmatia as well. We don't really need those. Now, we are going to fabricate a claim on the Papal State. We are going to fabricate a claim on Theodoro as well, though they do have a lot of allies, admittedly. Small ones, but still, it would be more of an issue than we would think. But we're actually going to wait until we fully annex Jandar before we pick up another vassal anyway. But that's if we vassalize Theodoro, which we might not. We might just take their land. A lot of people have been saying, we need to get the Komnenos dynasty back on the line, and, I am inclined to agree. However, doing that may prove to be difficult, considering that, the Hunyatis have seemed to, plant themselves. Alright, let's kill these rebels. Looks like it's a pretty brutal massacre, as it were. Yep. It's going to be the end of that rebellion. We do have to worry about the Crimean separatists still. Those are going to be a thing. But next episode, we're going to look to rebuild our fleet, since it's kind of in a bad state of disrepair at the moment. That being said, I want to thank you for joining me, my fellow Romans, and I'll see you guys on the next one.